Hey everybody, NoMo060 here, and with the recent announcement that ZP Thart has left Dragonforce, one of my favourite power metal bands, I thought it'd be a good time to bring up this discussion that I've been wanting to do for a while, and that is band lineup changes. It happens all the time. Many heavy metal bands and many bands in general have gone through numerous lineup changes, sometimes completely replacing the original lineup of all the people that were originally in and founded the band, save for maybe one who was usually the founder. This can be for better or for worse, and so I would like to get your opinions on probably the best and the worst of band lineup changes. Now, for me, I'm always kind of sceptical when I hear of band lineup changes, because often I've been so used to hearing the same guys, in particular when they change vocalists. When they change the vocalist, it often can seem very different and doesn't quite give the same kind of nostalgic feel that I will if I'm a big fan of these bands. And sometimes the music style can change dramatically, and this isn't always a bad thing, of course, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work well as others. For example, Iced Earth. I'm not too familiar with 100% of the band's material or 100% of the band's lineup changes. However, I do know that they have gone through they've been plagued with lineup changes after almost every album. And so the main two albums, the main two that I've heard and I quite enjoy are Night of the Storm Rider and Something Wicked Comes This Way Part 2, or something of that nature. But yeah, the two albums are very different stylistically. The Night of the Storm Rider is a lot heavier and it's a lot more thrash orientated. It's a lot more distorted guitars and not quite as clean melodies as the other album has, and that's kind of more towards kind of heavy metal that Hammerfall and while I think it's still decent, I honestly think that, in my personal opinion, that Storm Rider was better. Guns N' Roses are another good example of lineup changes. As many of you know, Guns N' Roses is one of the most famous hard rock bands of the 80s that released in the first album in 1987, and they kept the original lineup for most of the time, and all the members became really famous together. Towards the end of the original lineup, I think it was around the Spaghetti Incident album, I think that Izzy Stradlin, the rhythm guitarist, he left the band, and so that he was replaced. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it might have been Duff McKagan who left first, the other drummer. I always get mixed up with some of the names, so I apologise if I'm, getting some of the band band members completely wrong in their position, But anyway, I'm sure we all know that they've completely almost completely changed the lineup. The only remaining original member now is Axl Rose. And I was very sceptical at first and kind of reluctant to listen to the new stuff. However, I heard a couple of songs like Shackler's Revenge on rock radio, from their album that was finally released, Chinese Democracy. And while it was a lot heavier and a lot rougher, I should say, than their earlier work, which is surprising because apparently the band they broke up because of a disagreement between the band members and Axl in which musical direction they wanted to take. I believe Axl wanted to take more of a blues direction, like in Use Your Illusion 2, while Slash and the others, they wanted to go in a more the classic hard rock direction, like Use Your Illusion 1. And really, they don't seem that bluesy to me compared to Use Your Illusion 2, and a lot of those songs, which are a lot of acoustic, very soft at the parts, and very melodic and very emotional. But yeah, you get the idea. And I think their new music is, alright. I don't think it's quite as memorable or as great as their older work, but it's hardly bad in my personal opinion. Now, before I get on to the more positives, I will mention one kind of a negative, and that would be Nightwish. Now, I am not really a fan of Nightwish's new singer, Traja, but then I really think I should cut her some slack because Taja was amazing. She was a phenomenal singer. She was like opera level. She is that good, and really, it's just hard to match her. And I feel that the new lead singer of Nightwish, Annette Olsen, I think she's good. I think she's a decent singer. She, can definitely sing quite well. It's just that she has a lot more poppy feel to her voice, which doesn't quite fit with the symphonic metal sound that Nightwish really have. It's kind of a similar deal to when Blaze Bayley joined Iron Maiden after Bruce temporarily left. He was good, he was very good, and I think he has done some brilliant songs in Maiden, honestly, and I've listened to his solo work, and he is a very good vocalist. He has a lot of power in his vocals. However, because his vocal range was considerably deeper than Bruce Dickinson's, he didn't quite fit what Iron Maiden was really kind of theme-wise, and it probably, that's one of the reasons why Bruce rejoined and he left, is because his vocal range just couldn't quite match the high pitch sight range of their older material, and so that made playing live concerts quite difficult. On the other hand, Bruce Dickinson only joined in with a third album, and while the Puddino, was it? I can't remember his name, but he was good, but Bruce was just even better, and he has become the voice that we now associate with Iron Maiden. Now, the one band which only changed its vocalist and has minimal lineup changes, but has a big change to their vocalist and their style, is AC/DC. They are the one band who has one of those bands that have just become even more successful and even better than they were before. That's not to disrespect the late great Bon Scott, of course. He was great, but Brian Johnson and the new directional style, when he joined with Back in Black and then the follow-up album For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, it just blows everything away. It's really hard to describe how absolutely amazing he is, and how much power and how much he has brought to AC/DC's overall musical style. He just took it right to the next level. And really has, taken the band so far and done so much with it. It's just been amazing. And I can't go in this rant without mentioning Dio. Dio replacing Ozzy Osbourne in Black Sabbath. Ozzy was great. Ozzy is really great. I think he's a great vocalist, and he was the voice of Black Sabbath. But when Heaven and Hell came out and Dio joined, and even after, and now he's rejoined to make Heaven and Hell, he is just phenomenal. Dio is one of the best and most powerful vocalists of all time, in my opinion. He is just so amazing. He brings so much power, so much emotion, complete raw emotion to the music, combined with, even with Black Sabbath's generally darker tone, he just, makes it so amazing. So to round off this rant/discussion, I will say that for me, lineup changes and especially vocalist changes can be hit and miss. Generally they do very good, and sometimes they do very, very good. Other times not so much, but I have heard very few times where I absolutely cannot listen to the band anymore simply because of how much they've changed their musical style. That's almost never happened to me. and more often than not, with Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, and numerous other bands, they have become even more successful and even better after a slight lineup change or tweak to their musical style. So with that being said, when the new vocalist, the new material with the new vocalist for Dragonforce is revealed and it is released, I will go into it with an open mind. I will be honest, I will not try and nitpick out of it, and I will try my best to remain objective and perhaps just enjoy it and see how he works, because who knows, he could be better than ZP Thart, as amazing as he was. I don't know yet, I will have to see. This is awsome, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.